Ladies and gentlemen, we have some breaking news, some bad news, not only for Julian Assange, but for the First Amendment and really any journalist trying to reveal the truth about the American empire. Let's talk about it. So, most of you all are aware that Julian Assange is undergoing an extradition case, but they're attempting to postpone it from what I've heard so far. Now, I want to just say, in the wake of Kobe Bryant passing away, he was very, very, just admired and revered. And a lot of the things that he did for a lot of people's lives, nobody knows about because he never bragged about it. And he is a hero to many. But as much sadness that I have in my heart for losing a person like Kobe Bryant, who brought so much to not only to basketball, but to the world. As much sadness in my heart as I have for his family, I am also, for those of you who know me, I'm also big on singing the praises of our unsung heroes. Because although Kobe brought a lot of joy to people's heart by dribbling the basketball, we have people like Julian Assange right now, who is very, 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 just daily inching very dangerously close to the end of his life. And it isn't abrupt. It's happening right here before our very eyes. And he is a hero, no different than one of my idols, Kobe Bryant, albeit for different reasons. The difference is right now people aren't singing his praises. And we still have him here with us. We as a country have something that we can do about this. We could be speaking out. This could be on the news every day. There should be a hashtag every single day. There's not a day one of my videos at least a tweet or at least a retweet that I'm not talking about Julian Assange, or that somebody at this network isn't talking about Julian Assange. I got to give a shout out to Action for Assange and Slow News Day, and Susie Dawson and Assange's mother, for everybody who's just been so dedicated to making sure that this, his attorneys, of course, just everybody who's been so dedicated to making sure that this stays in the public eye. And that is actually how we got this new information, because the extradition case revealed some plans from the United States. And that is, there are two things. One, in their case, they made an absolutely terrifying argument. And I have a part of it here, basically. It says that the U.S. basically asserted that spies cannot be journalists. So goes the claim. Espionage in publication should not be seen as comparable or even linked matters. This very claim suggests that any form of national security journalism, the sort that exposes abuses of power, is illegal in the eyes of the United States. That's what that means. They just said, basically, if you report the truth, if you report facts on the U.S. empire, you are no longer a journalist. And your First Amendment rights will be stripped away. Now, I want you all to understand the implication of this. We all know Lee Camp, right? I feel like if you're a fan of this show, you definitely got to be a fan of Lee Camp. Shout out to Lee, by the way, good friend, does amazing reporting and funny as hell. But Lee Camp works for Redacted Tonight. Now, although Redacted Tonight, the shortened, abbreviated form of Redacted Tonight is RT, he actually does work for RT. Redacted Tonight is on the Russia Today network. Because Lee Camp works for RT, technically speaking, and RT is considered a quote-unquote foreign agent now. Remember how that went by the wayside, and once again, nobody said anything about it. These are the issues that Lee Camp and People like myself and Jimmy Dore have been warning, and we warned about when that happened. We said this cannot stand. We have to speak up about it. Of course, not enough people care. But because now Lee Camp and his crew work for RT, if Lee Camp reveals breaking news about the US empire, as he oftentimes tends to do, well, they could say that Lee Camp is a foreign agent. Lee Camp is no longer entitled to his First Amendment right. And therefore, Lee Camp can be prosecuted for espionage. Lee Camp would be officially, if they chose to, he could be officially charged as a spy for a foreign government. Do you understand the implications of this? This is huge. This is monumental. It should be everywhere. I mean, we see Glenn Greenwald going through his trials and tribulations right now, and I gotta give a shout out to Glenn Greenwald, amazing journalist. I met him in San Francisco. One of the very few, I don't want to call him mainstream, but he's definitely one of the more established journalists. I think we'd all agree. He was there covering Tulsi Gabbard. He had a lot of events that he could have been at that day in San Francisco because it was a Democratic National Convention, and instead he was there at Tulsi's event covering Tulsi Gabbard because of probably, I'm speculating, but I know for a fact this, he supports and loves her support of whistleblowers and wanting, and her desire to want to bolster whistleblower protections. Considering who Glenn Greenwald is, I could imagine why he would appreciate that. So Glenn is undergoing issues right now with the Brazilian government where they're claiming that he hacked a cell phone. That case sounds very familiar, doesn't it? It's basically the same argument the United States government is making for Julian Assange. So this case is we're starting to see ripple effects, right? And now we're starting to see a little bit of government coordination with the way these things are tried, because if you have a couple of governments coordinating in international prosecutions like we're seeing with Julian Assange and potentially Glenn Greenwald, you punished our guy for doing this. Oh, we're fine with that. It's cool. Then we punish the UK's guy or Australia's guy for doing this. Oh, okay, it's cool. All these countries are complicit because their courts are allowing it. Their agencies are allowing it. And all of a sudden, it becomes precedent. It becomes a norm. You can expect to be extradited and have your First Amendment right stripped away from you. That is what is taking place right now. But unfortunately, it gets worse, because they made it clear also that they will be using quote unquote special administrative measures. What does that mean? That means if Julian Assange is extradited to the United States, then his lawyers, his mother, his family members, Julian Assange himself, none of them will be allowed to speak to the media at all, which means his case will die in darkness, which is, let's be clear, right? This is the age of the Patriot Act. And when they're calling him a spy, when they're saying he's guilty of 17 counts of espionage, you know what that means according to the Patriot Act, right? It means that you basically don't have constitutional rights anymore. When he gets here, they can do what the hell they want with him. That's why I do not want him here. I've made that very clear. I don't want him here. He's not going to get protection. It will be, I hate saying it, but it's like sentencing him to death, more or less. Even if he isn't actually killed, unfortunately, the truth is he won't have much of a life after. And he'll probably be tortured a lot before. And this is where people like you come in. We got to call it out. We got to talk about this. You got to remind people Julian Assange is still fighting for his life. He's still fighting not only for his life, but the fate of journalism as we know it. He's still fighting for whistleblowers everywhere. And we need everybody, wherever you can, to share this message, to inform the world. Once again, we said if this is allowed to Julian Assange, well, what's next for our journalists? What's next for American-born journalists? Look at what Glenn Greenwald is dealing with right now because of one of our allies basically being green-lighted by the U.S. government. That's what happened. Well, you did it to Julian Assange, right? So you're going to look out for me when I need to do it to Glenn Greenwald for exposing me. Yep, that's exactly what happened. So please share this video, like it. Like I said, share it wherever you can. I would love to hear what your thoughts are. If you have any information about the case that I might have missed, please send it my way. You can DM me. Peace. Giving you trouble, as it always does, you can download the Rockfin app and follow us there. Also, if you want to continue to help our show grow, you can help us reach our goal of 500 patrons on Patreon and donate as little as $1. Really, anything helps. Other than that, always remember, people, more than anything else,